Good morning to students of class 12 science. Today we will begin with a new chapter, strategies for enhancement in food production. The conventional method of food productions in the present scenario, at the present time, is not sufficient to fulfill the demands of the growing human population. So in order to meet the need of the growing human populations in terms of food productions, right? That is mainly the domestication of plants or animals, we have to come with new technologies. We have to apply new biological principles so that it will increase the productivity of food particles. Or it will increase the domestication of animals and plants so that it will increase the food production and it can meet the demand of the growing human population. So in this particular chapter, we are going to learn about the strategies, the plannings, how we can mainly increase the production of the food, not only in terms of quantity, but also with good quality. Okay, so this is chapter number 9, strategies for enhancement in food production. So go to the textbook, page number 508. Okay, so today we will first begin our class with the topic animal husbandry. Okay, page number 526, page number 526. So what is animal husbandry? Clear? So animal husbandry, you can see over here, it's mainly the branch of agriculture which is mainly concerned with rearing of animals, all right, proper feeding of animals and rearing of livestock. Livestock means animals. Okay, so over here in animal husbandry, we are dealing with proper rearing, feeding, grooming of animals, of livestock. Why? In order to obtain milk and their products, that means milk products along with the meat. Clear? So therefore we can define animal husbandry as the care and breeding of livestock, means animals that are useful to human being. Okay, so over here what we are doing in animal husbandry, we are taking care of the animals, we are breeding those animals, all right, which are mainly useful to the human beings. Now we know what purpose they are useful to us, mainly because from those livestock we are getting meat, we are getting milk and the milk products which are essential for the human beings, because most of the human beings are dependent on the livelihood on those animals. So mainly in estimation, you can say point number 3 that 70% of the world livestock population is in India and China. Clear? But when we consider the total productivity all over the world, it is very, very low. It only accounts up to how many percent? Only 25% of total livestock productivity, which is very, very low. So in order to overcome this low productivity, we have to come with new technologies. So we have to apply new technologies along with the conventional practices or the conventional methods of animal husbandry so that it can improve the quality and productivity, and it can meet the demand of the growing human population. So what is animal husbandry? It is simply concerned with proper feeding, rearing, grooming, okay, of the livestock, means of the animals. For what purpose? For mainly obtaining the milk and the milk products along with the meats. Clear? So that's the mainly definition of animal husbandry. Now we will learn about the role of animal husbandry in human welfare. So large number of human beings are mainly dependent for the livelihood on those livestock, on the animals, because they used to sell the milk, they used to sell the milk products. So large number of human beings are dependent on the livestock for the livelihood. Okay, so mainly the role of animal husbandry in human welfare is mainly concerned with, okay, it is concerned with providing milk, eggs, meat, honey, hides, and fiber. So all these things, all this production, we are obtaining it from the livestock or from the animal by means of animal husbandry. Clear? So first of all, we'll go with the milk. Just quick briefly. Okay, milk is also called the complete food, and mainly from the milk we are getting different types of products. Like you can say over here, we used to get curd from milk, paneer, okay, cheese, ghee, yogurt, butter. All these things are the milk products. We're also getting egg, you can see over here, from the animal husbandry. Clear? The number three, we used to get meat, honey and wax. All right, you know what is honey and wax? Okay, we used to get honey bee. Then hides, the skin of animals are also being used to make hides and leathers. Fibers, the wools we have, which are mainly obtained from the sea, are mainly used for making wools. All right, then silk is obtained from the silk moth, bombyx mori. Then most of the animals are also used for transport purposes. Clear? Which is called after walking animals. Then we used to make the fertilizers, right, from the excreta of those animals. Clear? Then bone meal, okay, crushed bones of cattle are used to prepare bone meal for poultry and fertilizers. Then glue and gelatins, right, cattle bones, horns, hooves, they used to produce glue and gelatin. So these are the products which are mainly getting from the animal husbandry. So we have got a huge role of animal husbandry in human welfare, because most of the human beings are dependent on the daily livelihood on the animals. Because from animal, what we are getting milk, egg, meat, right? By raiding honeybee, we are getting honey and wax. All right, we are getting hide, we are getting fibers, we are getting, or we are using the animals for our working purposes in the agricultural field. We are making organic fertilizers, organic manures from the excreta of animals, right? We are getting the bone meals and glue and gelatin. So the role of animal husbandry is very, very important, is very, very vast in case of human welfare. Clear? Then next thing, we'll talk about the management of farms and farm animals. So we have to go with the page number 527, where we'll talk about the management of farm and farm animals. So mainly here I've come with the term farm, right? We used to talk about the dairy farm, you talk about the poultry farm. So here we'll talk about the management of those farms. We'll talk about the dairy farming, all right, and mainly about the management of those farm animals. So what do you mean by management of farm and farm animals? So farm management is simply deals with the those animals, all right, which are mainly reared, groomed, and properly cared and fed in the farm. So let's go with the proper definition of management of farm. So farm management is the controlled and scientific handling of farm animals. So you can see over here. So farm management is simply concerned with the farm animals in their rearing, okay, grooming, caring, feeding, and breeding to give much needed boost to our food production. So mainly in farm management, we are mainly dealing with the handling of farm animals. We are taking care of them, we are properly grooming them, we are properly feeding them, okay, and also we are going further breeding so that it will increase the production of the food, not only in terms of quantities but also in terms of quality. Okay, so here we'll go with the few examples of farm. So we'll talk about the dairy farm management. So all of you heard of the dairy farm, where the animals are mainly been reared, groomed, mainly to obtain the milk and their milk product for human consumption. Okay, so dairy farm management, phase number 5 to 7 is the management of animals for milk and its product. Clear? So all of you heard about dairy farm also. So in dairy farm, we are managing the animals which are mainly concerned those that gives the milk and the milk products which are being used for the human consumption. Clear? So dairy farm is the enclosure used for keeping and breeding dairy animals. So what are those animals which are mainly kept in the dairy farming? You know the examples, right? So those animals like cow, right? They are mainly kept in the dairy farm so that we are able to get the milk and the milk products. Okay, because you we all know that from the dairy farm we are obtaining the milk, and milk is not the complete food because we are obtaining very, very essential components from the milk. So what are the essential components of milk? Mainly it contain protein, right? It is very rich in proteins like casein and albumin. We used to get carbohydrates, mainly lactose. We used to get fat from the milk, vitamins A, D, E, and B12. Okay, thiamine, niacin, then pyridoxine, riboflavin, biotin. These are the vitamins which we used to get from the milk. We used to get the minerals like calcium, magnesium, iron, sodium, potassium, and phosphorus from the milk. Clear? So kindly go with the essential components of the milk along with their constituents part. Clear? So we are getting protein, casein, albumin 3.2% in cow milk and 6.5% in case of buffalo's milk. Okay, we are getting fat 4.5% to 5.3% in case of cow's milk and up to 6.5% in case of buffalo's milk. Okay, we are getting carbohydrate lactose 4.5% in cow's milk and 5% in case of buffalo's milk. Okay, so all these components are very essential which we are getting from the milk for our growth and development. So now let's just talk with the maintenance of dairy farming, because we are mainly keeping those animals from which we are obtaining the milk and the milk products, right, in the dairy farm. But the most important thing is not only the rearing of those animals, not only feeding them, all right, but there are certain criteria where we have to focus when we are establishing or when we are forming a dairy farming. Okay, so first of all, when we are thinking about establishing a dairy farm, clear, most important thing is the selection of breed. We have to select the most important breed that gives higher production or high yielding or produce higher amount of milk, not only in terms of quantity but also in terms of quality also. Number two, those animals or those breed must be disease resistant, clear, and they must be acclimatized to the climatic conditions of a particular place. These are the things which must be kept in mind before establishing a dairy farm. Clear? So, out of this particular criteria, there are other things we should be kept in mind. So, what are those things? So, we'll go through those things one by one. Okay, so first maintenance we'll talk about is selection of breed. I'm telling you that selection of breed means it must produce higher amount of milk, it must be resistant to disease, and it must be acclimatized to the climatic condition of the particular place. This is the first criteria. Clear? Number two, maintenance shed, the place where the animals are kept. Okay, it should be clean, airy, spacious, and roofed. Airy means they can get enough air. Okay, there's enough space also, and properly roofed. Now, floors should be cemented and sloping for the drainage of urine and dung removal. Okay, so floor must be cemented and slightly it has to be sloping. A slope has to be there so that the urine and the dung can easily flow down. Okay, then feed. Proper feeding needs to be done. Look over here. So good feed essential for the milk production. All right. So balanced feed consists of 15 to 20 kg of fodder as raw fish, 4.5 kg of grain mixture as concentrate, and 30 to 35 liters of water per day. So this is the fodder that is to given to the animals. Clear? So a proper balanced feed consists of appropriate nutrients like carbohydrate, proteins, fat, minerals, and vitamins. So these are the essential components of the fodder of the food which is being given to the animals in the dairy farm. Then water, number 4. There should be permanent drinking water supply. All right. Then drinking water supply must be clean and free of germs. Okay. Then there should be enough water for cleaning sets and the animals also. Grooming, where animals should be cleaned. Okay, they must be washed and they must be brushed regularly in order to avoid any type of skin infections. That is most important. Control of diseases. All right, so we have to mainly control the diseases mainly in the dairy farming. Not only have to control them, but we have to prevent actually them. We have to prevent them also. So how can we do that? Look over here, number A. So incidence of anthrax, tuberculosis, salmonellosis, okay, mastitis, which are the bacterial disease. Kindly remember those diseases. Bacterial diseases are mastitis, salmonellosis, tuberculosis, okay, anthrax. Then we have got viral disease, foot and mouth disease, rinderpest or cattle plague, and blue tongue. Remember these things. Then protozoan disease, coccidiosis, and trypanosomiasis. then fungal disease, ringworm. These are the few examples of cattle diseases. So these diseases needs to be controlled. Clear? So for these regions, the animals are mainly they are given vaccinations, and mainly antibiotics are given to mainly control the spread of those diseases. Then veterinary must visit the dairy farm regularly and should maintain proper record. Okay, external parasites can like lice can be controlled by applying dilute solutions of insecticides like linden. Remember the name linden. Then calf losses can be prevented by taking care of the newborn calf. Okay, so these are the certain things which we have in dairy farming. Besides this, we have to maintain proper cleanliness and hygienic conditions in the dairy farm also. So we have just finished about the maintenance of dairy farm, which is very easy. Okay, first one, selection of breed, set, feed, water, grooming, and we have to control diseases. And last one, we have to maintain proper cleanliness and hygienic condition in the dairy farming. Clear? Now, next one, breeds of cattle. So here you have to remember about the few examples of indigenous breeds of cows, which are mainly confined to our country. Then crossbreeds, which are obtained by means of hybridization or hybrid techniques. Then the exotic breeds of cows, which are not confined to India, but they are brought from other countries. Okay, so you have to remember the name of those cattle. So if we'll talk about over here, milk or dairy breeds. So the cows of dairy breeds are high yielding varieties. However, their bullocks are not very useful as walk animals. So over here we are not going through these particular terms, but over here what you must remember is the name of the animals, name of the cows, okay, which are being used. So first of all, you have to remember the example of indigenous breeds of cow, which are mainly present in India. Clear? So here you have to remember the name Sahiwal and Gir. So Sahiwal is mainly present or is mainly found in Punjab and Haryana. Clear? Gir, Gujarat. Okay, so these are the superior dairy cows which are indigenous, which are from India. Then next one, cross breeds of cows which are mainly produced by means of those hybrid techniques. You have to remember the name Karan Swiss and Holstein. Okay, these are the name of the cross breeds of cows. Then last one, most important is the exotic breeds of cows, which are mainly brought to our country from other countries. Clear? Which is not native to our country, but they are brought from other countries. So over here, examples of exotic breeds of cows are Jersey cow and the Holstein cow. So cross breeds for Holstein Friesians. Okay, exotic Jersey and Holstein. So you have to remember the name of indigenous breeds of cow, cross breeds of cow, and you have to remember the exotic breeds of cows. No need to go through this part. Clear? Just remember this name. This is very important. Alright, so these are the few examples of the cows which are indigenous cows, which are crossbreed cows, and which are exotic breeds of cows. Clear? This is very important. Okay, next one. Talk about apiculture. Bee rearing. In our syllabus, poultry farming has been removed, so no need to go through it. Clear? So we'll directly go through the beekeeping, or we can say apiculture, page number 533. Clear? So open the page number 533. We'll go through it. That is beekeeping or apiculture. Alright, so where we are mainly simply rearing, taking care, and we used to manage the honey bee for mainly obtaining the honey and other honey or other products like beeswax. Okay, so the places where honeybees are kept, it is called apiary. Now in India we have got several species of honeybee. Okay, but the most important thing is that Apis indica. Remember this name, it's very important. Clear? So Apis indica is the most common honeybee which is reared in India. But the good quality of honey are obtained from Apis mellifera. So what is beekeeping? It's also called apiculture, where we are rearing, we are taking care, and we are managing the honey bee for obtaining honey and other products. Okay, and the place where the honey bee are kept, it is called apiary. And in India, mainly we used to rear Apis indica, but the good quality of honey is obtained from Apis mellifera. So you can see over here that I've written the scientific name of honeybee. so it is in italics, but whenever we are writing it, we have to underline it separately. Please keep this in your mind, because we are learning class 11 about binomial nomenclature, rules of nomenclature. Clear? So keep in your mind. So let's talk about the economic importance of apiculture. So the increased demand of honey has led to large-scale beekeeping practices. So nowadays, mainly in our villages, we used to find lots of people who are engaged in apiculture. So mainly from beekeeping or from apiculture, we are getting honey and wax. Okay, so let's talk about the honey, which is a food of high nutritive value. Just high with a source of vitamins, amino acids, enzymes, minerals, and sugar. It is used in honey and indigenous systems of medicine also. It is useful in the treatment of dysentery, vomiting, stomach and liver ailments. All right, it acts as a laxative and also an antiseptic. It can also be used in cough and cold. So these are the uses of honey. So kindly go through the uses of honey. Okay, which one of the economic importance. Next one, beeswax. Bees secrete wax to make their honeycombs, and is mainly used for the preparation of cosmetics and the various kind of polishes and candles. So beeswax are used for the preparation of cosmetics and for making polishes and candles. Clear? And next important thing is that honeybee are an important pollinating agent, because most of the plants, most of the crops are dependent on honeybee for their pollination. Clear? So kindly go through the economic importance of apiculture. Now next one we'll talk about fisheries, page number 534. Clear? Now what is fisheries? It is mainly an industry which is concerned with catching, rearing, processing and selling of fish, shellfish, okay, and other aquatic animals. So fisheries, as the name says, we are mainly concerned with the rearing, catching, rearing, processing, selling of fish, fish sales, and mainly other fish products. It comes under the fishery. Okay, so over here we have to go through the table number 9.4. Okay, table number 9.4, we will find the important edible, means which can be consumed, important edible fresh water and marine water fishes of India. So we have to go through it, and you have to remember the name of the edible freshwater fishes and the name of the edible marine fishes. This usually come in examinations. Okay, so table number 9.4. So I've taken the picture from the book. So you can see over here the freshwater edible fishes, you can see over here rahu, labia katla, scientific name katla. Okay, singhara, mysterious singhala, calvasu, labio calvasu. Okay, magur, scientific name clarias, batrachus. Okay, singi, then mali, mirgal. So out of this name you have to remember 3 or 4 scientific name of the freshwater edible fishes. This usually comes in examinations, so you have to remember the name. Then the name of the marine edible fishes, you can see over here: Bombay duck, harpodon, okay, eel, angula, hilsa, then sardine, then salmon and pomfret. These are the name of the edible marine water fishes. Okay, so go to the table number 9.4 and remember the name of the edible freshwater fishes and the edible marine water fishes. Okay, now we'll discuss about pisciculture and aquaculture. So we have to go through the difference between pisciculture and aquaculture also. So when the process of fish farming is confined, or sorry, it's mainly isolated, it's done in isolated water body. So the process of fish farming, when it is done in isolated water body, it is called pisciculture. Clear? There is proper utilization of fresh water, brackish water, and coastal areas water. So whenever fish farming is done in isolated water body, it is called pisciculture. And pisciculture, the food is always provided from the outsides. Clear? And mainly in pisciculture, we are rearing all types of aquatic organisms. Aquatic means which are mainly found in the water body. Next one, aquaculture. It involves the production of useful aquatic organisms. It does not, or like, we are not going to culture all the aquatic animals in case of aquaculture. We are only going to rear fish and their products, which are mainly edible. Only edible fishes we are going to culture. Okay, in case of aquaculture. culture. So you can see over here, aquaculture involves production of useful aquatic organisms such as fishes, prawns, shrimps, lobster, crabs, and edible oyster. We are not culturing all the aquatic animals like in pisciculture. Because in pisciculture, we are rearing all the aquatic animals or all the aquatic fishes or the aquatic organisms. But in case of aquaculture, we are only rearing food fish. Clear? And food animals in the water body. We are not going through the reading of all those aquatic organisms in case of aquaculture. And in case of aquaculture, there is no requirement of food from the outside sources like that in case of pisciculture, where we are putting the food from the outside sources. But in aquaculture, there is no need of food from the external sources. And aquaculture, it only produces the food items. And in case of pisciculture, a large number of economically important items can be obtained from pisciculture because we are rearing large number of aquatic organisms in terms of pisciculture. But in aquaculture, we are just obtaining the food products. Clear? Because we are simply just rearing the food, fish, and the products which we are getting from them. Okay, so go through table number 9.5, the difference between pisciculture and aquaculture. Now we'll come to the types of fish farming. For this, kindly go through the book. Okay, just remember the types, no need to go in details, just remember the name, the types only. Okay, it's in the page number 535, types of fish farming. Just remember, number 1, capture fishery, culture fishery, number 3, marine fishery, and inland fishery. These are the 4 types of fish farming depending on nature of sources of fish. All right, so remember, capture fishes, fishery, culture fishery, and nature water body. We have got marine fishery and the inland fishery. Just remember the name only. Clear? Types. Okay, now most important one, we'll talk about the economic importance of fisheries. So look over here. Number 1, it provides income and employment to the million of fishermen. We can say we got large number of fishermen are dependent on fish for their income, or we can say for their livelihood. Okay, so most of them are dependent for their livelihood, where fishery is only the source of income. It also helped in the enhancement of food production. So this is very, very important. Clear? Now, there are a few terms which you have to remember over here. I'm telling you, kindly note it down. Okay, I'm just giving the few terms over here which you have to remember. So first of all, we have talked about the dairy farming. We are talking about the management of dairy farming. So here you have to remember about white revolutions which mainly helped in increasing the production of milk. So in India, all right, Dr. Varghese Kurian, in the page number 528, in India we can say that we have got Varghese Kurian, which is regarded as the father of white revolution. He played an important role in increasing the production of milk. He is also the founder chairman. He was also the founder chairman of National Dairy Development Board, NDDB. He is the founder chairman of the National Dairy Development Board. All right. The next one, we have to remember the word green revolution also. Okay, green revolution means which is mainly concerned with increasing the production of food grains, that we will discuss when we go with the plant breeding techniques. Okay, then next one, you have to remember the name blue revolution, BLUE. Okay, white revolution in terms of milk, and blue revolution which is mainly concerned with increasing the production of fish availability. Okay, so blue revolution, remember, it is mainly concerned with increasing the production of fish availability. Okay, so remember the word white revolution and the blue revolution. Okay, so white revolution is concerned with milk productions and blue revolution is concerned with production of fish. Clear? So today we are simply learn about the animal husbandry. We have gone through this gone through the definition of animal husbandry. We have discussed the role of animal husbandry. Then we have learned the management of farms. We will discuss about dairy farming, maintenance, and economic importance also we have discussed to that. And we have gone through the few examples of cattle: indigenous cattle, crossbreed cattle, and the exotic cattle. Remember, indigenous means which are mainly found in India, in our country. Exotic means which are not confined to our country, what is brought to our place from other country. Okay, then we are talking about apiculture, which is mainly concerned with the rearing of bee. And we are talking about fishery, where you will learn about aquaculture and pisciculture. Clear? So in the next class we'll talk about the animal breeding. Okay, we will talk about inbreeding and outbreeding techniques. So this much for today. See you in next class. Thank you.